Hi everyone, Triple Aqua here from the West, from Key West. I'm Mermaid Christy Ann. Thank you so much for joining me today on my YouTube channel. So today I want to talk to everyone about feminine and masculine energy and how it doesn't matter if you're a female or if you're a male, each human being has both energies inside of them and how important it is to balance that energy out. Yes, I know you're probably thinking, yeah, well, I know people that are a little bit more feminine and more masculine, and sure, we all have that. That's the whole idea. We have that feminine and masculine polarity inside of us. And when it is balanced, it basically forms a perfect yin-yang, and it is able to keep us balanced. So with that being said, a little bit into that, from the beginning of time, we have been, we've suppressed the feminine energy, and one of the reasons why is because man was supposed to be the more dominant, the superior, the one in control and charge, and women are intuitive by nature because the intuitive nature of a human being comes from the feminine energy inside. So women usually know more instinctively, not that men don't, but like instinctively, and more psychic, or just more claircognizant, or just more tapped into their spiritual gifts, their psychic gifts. And it's because normally, and it doesn't happen with everybody, so take it as it resonates for you, but most females have more female energy, but that's not always the case, so just take it however it resonates for you. Energy is just energy. So what's happened is we were feared, and because of that we've been suppressed, not to have a voice, not to be in charge, not to be in control. So then what happened was it made both the male and the female off balance, because the masculine had way too much masculine, suppressed the feminine energy inside, and the female had to suppress the feminine energy, and then basically had to tap into the masculine just to survive in a quote-unquote man's world. Now over time things have changed in most cultures, and some, unfortunately, women are very suppressed still. I was gonna say depressed, but yeah, I would imagine they're depressed. Who wouldn't be if you didn't have a voice, if you weren't allowed to be your authentic self? But we are, thank God, here in America that we don't have that problem, but we have been fighting for a long time for this equality, and in a lot of ways, not just, you know, women's rights and all of that stuff. But this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the female and masculine energy, so we'll just stick to that. So it's been happening for a long time. We see a lot of major shifts happening now. I mean, we had, you know, a woman run for president, you know, not too long ago, and things that we probably would have never thought of. And although I think, you know, she can definitely tap into her masculine, as can I, when I'm ready to do an event or whatever. It's like boots to the ground, and I go. I'm like a complete soldier. So, and that's one thing about myself. I am able to tap into my masculine, and a lot of people don't think that about me, but I'm really a tomboy. I love to ride motorcycles and climb trees and make mud pies, and that's the kind of stuff I liked to do when I was a kid. And, you know, ride horses. So, yeah, we're able to tap into both energies pretty much whenever we want, but the whole idea is to not suppress one and let the other one dominate the other. It's important to have that balance, because what happens is when you don't have that balance, you tend to have a distorted view of the masculine, distorted view of the feminine energy. And sometimes we've been brought up where we have, let's just say role models. It can be whomever was around you and whoever molded you and helped shape you, and the feminine, or the female figure, let's just say it's more a feminine energy, was a distorted feminine. So then our view is more like a distorted feminine energy, or the masculine energy was a distorted masculine and not a great role model. So then our view was more of a distorted. So then we tend to take that out into outside of the home, outside of our lives. And so when we meet people, and if let's say you're a male and you didn't have a really good good role model or experience, you're going to not have respect for women, or you're gonna, you know, have a distorted view on women because the women figure in your life weren't divine feminines, and vice versa. And then it could be the other way around. If you're female and you have this distorted view on men, you know, men are no good, men are this or that, and maybe it's because you didn't have a good example, so then your view on the male is distorted because you are around distorted masculines instead of divine masculines. So, and take it how it resonates. I said it's all energy, so just use it to how it would apply to you. And so what's happened is too, we've been going on life and centuries and passing this down with this distorted feminine and masculine energy, and we've actually, there's been way too much masculine energy, and then the feminine has been suppressed, and then she's had to, like, you know, pull more of her masculine, so then the feminine again is suppressed. Well, again, it's unhealthy because you have this, what's happening now. So now God has put his mighty hand down, source, universe, whatever you want to call it, and now Mother Earth, Gaia, whatever you want to call her, she's healing, and she's sending out all of this feminine energy to us. And we've also had portals that have been going on for months and months. And if you know about that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's been bringing the feminine energy in, and all the super moons that have been happening, they've been bringing the feminine energy in. And Venus out there, she is doing all kinds of stuff. You know, she was just in the Seven Sisters and the Palladian constellation, which made like a number 8, which is an infinity, you know, because everything's coming full circle. And that was pulling in feminine energy to the planet, to us, because we are affected whether we think so or not. It's like the wind. We might not be able to see it, but it's there. So the energy engulfs us. It pours over us like a beautiful elixir, clear, invisible elixir that we can't see, but we feel the energy. And then now Venus is going to be getting ready to go into Gemini and be retrograde. And what does Gemini control? Like our communication. So we'll be able to have that feminine energy in our communication. And it's another reason why the feminine energy has been suppressed is because we've been taught, like, don't cry if you're a boy, you're a sissy, or don't do that, you're a pansy, or, you know, toughen up, man up. So you don't want to be vulnerable. You don't want to tap into your feminine energy because society has made us feel like we've had to be one thing, and then it's unhealthy. So, you know, people say all the time, oh, chivalry's dead. Well, it's dead because if you do that, then you're fill in the blanks, you're blank whooped, and, you know, so on and so forth. So it's okay if you're masculine to be vulnerable. It's okay if you're a feminine to be more feminine. Now, we're not saying play the damsel in distress all the time, but, you know that it's okay to tap more into your feminine energy than have to feel like you have to, you know, like even Taylor Swift has that song, If I Was a Man, you know, that song. I mean, it's really an interesting song if you listen to it, because that's exactly how women feel in society. You know, we feel like we don't have a voice, or if you're around a group of men and you say something, they kind of just look at you and talk right over you because you're a female, you don't have a mind, or, you know, and this plays back and forth, and it's really just something that we have had to be programmed to for so many years. But things are changing, as we can all see right now, because we are in the age of Aquarius. It's the beginning of it, and it is about humanitarianism. It is about everyone working together. It's about compassion. It's about non-judging. So it pulls in a lot of those open-minded, not so rigid structures that we have been so accustomed to, and we have been put in these little tiny boxes to think in this as a whole, as a society, as even most of us even on the planet. Now, again, like I said, some cultures are a lot more, they're a lot stricter, and then there's the other side of the coin. But what it really boils down to is that we are not balanced on the inside, and it's very important to find that balance, whether you meditate on it, pray about it, educate yourself on the feminine and masculine energy and how you can use that energy to harness things. You know, the feminine energy is, you know, a lot of times where we get our creativity from, because feminine energies create. I mean, look at the planet, Mother Earth. It's a big ball of creation is what it is. And so know that it doesn't matter if you think you're, you know, very masculine and you're a macho man, if you're super, super feminine, you have both polarities inside of you. And the whole idea is to balance them out, so you're able to use them to your advantage when you need to. But the most important thing is to be balanced so that you can form that perfect yin and yang, that positive and negative polarity. Not that one's more positive or negative than the other, but it's just that feminine and masculine energy, the dark, the light, the positive, the negative, and come to a happy medium. So hope that resonated. I hope you will like. I get more, I guess, views or Instagram. Actually, no, it's YouTube. I'm on YouTube. I can't even remember. I have so many accounts. YouTube actually puts it out there more if the more likes I get. So yeah, and share and subscribe. So I'm going to pull from the Mystical Wisdom deck, the card deck. It's an oracle deck and one of my favorites. And see what kind of message we're going to get today. Yeah, if you're not following like all of the planets and what Venus is doing now and how it's setting us all up for the age of Aquarius, it is insane. And you don't have to believe in astrology. And these are not my words. I heard somebody else say it on one of the talking heads on YouTube. Like, you don't have to believe in astrology, but astrology believes in you. And it's really interesting because there's so many things, and I've said this in the past, that are happening now that haven't happened in over 720 some years. So it's really significant and really special. And we're actually very lucky. I know people to be on this planet right now. And I know people think, oh gosh, how can you say that? But no, we are. We're experiencing something that it's going to mold us and shape us to be our better, authentic self in the future, where we're going back to basics. We're lining ourselves up. We are becoming balanced. The planet right now is trying to balance itself out and heal itself. Well, while the planet's doing that, we're being called to do the exact same thing. So go back to basics. Look to see what your ancient ancestors did. You know, I've been studying a lot of my 23andMe just to see it. It's really amazing. I've always been really obsessed with the ocean, and mine date back to like over 200 and some years, and we're always by the ocean, by the water. We've migrated from the Azores all the way down here to Havana, Cuba, ending up here in Key West. So I guess I'm always supposed to be, I was always destined to be a mermaid. But it's really interesting, you know, and even down to the food I like. I was talking to a friend about it, and I love seafood and I love fruits. Well, it makes sense, you know, my ancient ancestors, or even us, you would get off the boat, cook your catch, and grab whatever fruit was fresh off the vine, and that I can live off of that diet, and that's my favorite. Not that I'm not, you know, love pasta and veggies and all that good stuff, but I can totally live off of that and I'd be fine, and that's just something that's in my DNA. So it's interesting. Go within, start balancing yourself out. If you're not familiar like with chakras and yin yang and what it means, I know a lot of people think the yin yang symbol is just, you know, this hippie symbol or this spiritual thing, but it's a lot more, and it's really in depth, and I'm really just scratching the surface of it. I'm just giving you my intuitive channeled message today, but it's not something that I've studied in length. It's just something that I know to be true. You know, I'm on a triple Aquarius, so what do they say? I know, therefore I am. That's the whole Aquarius thing. I know. We just know. Lucky, I guess. Sometimes maybe it doesn't feel so lucky when you know so many things and you're like, how the heck did I know that? Whoop! All right, so we got a card. Naturally, it fell on the floor. One day, I'm actually sitting on a table. One day I'll get a bigger table so I can catch all my cards that fly on the floor. Oh my gosh, look how cool this is. I love this card. This card is Peacock, Raise Your Standards. And yes, you know, the peacock is such a beautiful creature. It has, you know, especially the male, and, you know, we're talking about the feminine and masculine, and that's another, that's really, gosh, God is always amazing, spirit, universe, whatever. Because we're talking about, you know, the female peacock isn't as beautiful and gorgeous as the male. And it's funny because you would think, to look at the beautiful, you know, male peacock, that's the female, and it's not. And it's so interesting because we're talking about how you can be in a female body, but then have more masculine energy, and vice versa. And this is like, wow, this is so perfect. And, you know, the masculine, you know, kind of, what's that saying, you know, put your chest and puff it out like a peacock. And yeah, and raise your standards. Know that you can balance yourself out. Know that you have both polarities that you're able to work with, and you're just not one thing. We are, as a human being, we are so multifaceted. We have so much to us on the inside. I mean, just if you study the human body, anatomy and physiology were always my favorite, always. And I went to massage therapy school, so I really, the human body intrigues me. And, but I don't even know where I was going with that. I'm so enamored by this card. But yeah, it's amazing what you can do and what you can discover about yourself. And when you control your energy, how it will shift things inside of you, inside your mind, body, soul, everything. It's amazing. Wow. And remember, you know, as within, so without. So if you're balanced on the inside, it's only going to exude, and it's going to shine, and it's going to energetically send out ripples into the universe when you are a balanced human being. Wow. How cool is that? The peacock. All right, so remember, raise your standards, and thank you for being with me today. I'm just a little, I guess I'm just like a little taken aback. Like, I think this is such a perfect card for the message, and it always, I shouldn't be surprised, but I am surprised sometimes when I pull these cards. So have a great day, and remember, these messages are timeless, so whenever you're seeing this is when you need to see it. And never stop, and always remember to swim towards your dreams. Bye.